If you're looking to support having healthy relationship with your partner, family, friends, work, and God, check out my Patreon account in the show notes and description and become a member. Membership is as low as $5 a month. Be recognized on the podcast, have access to exclusive content, and other benefits.
Recording in progress.
Welcome back to the Dating and Relationship Playbook, which has a podcast where we discuss having, maintaining, and improving a healthy relationship with healthy relationships, and not just relationship with our spouse or significant other, but with family, friends, and God. And this is gonna be a little different today. I'm not gonna be talking about relationship, but just kind of, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, and I went and saw it last week. And I'll say this. One, I want to go see it again because it was a good, I enjoyed being there. It was a good movie. And then what happened was I thought the movie, for some reason, I thought it was 6:20, and it was, when I got there, it was like well into the movie, because I get to the movies late or get to the movies after the time, just because I don't want to watch all the trailers. So I realized when I looked back at the ticket that it says 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna go see it again because I did miss maybe like 15 20 minutes of the movie. But I'm gonna go over like a couple. I go over what I liked about the movie. One, Jafar, he did a good job. The acting was good. You know, Lorenz Tate played Barry Gordy. He was good. Jafar Jackson, which is Jermaine Jackson's brother, or Jermaine Jackson's son, Michael Jackson's nephew. He did a really good job. Sounded like Michael. Obviously, he had look a little bit like Michael. Nia Long played the mom, Katherine Jackson. She was good, and I can't pronounce the guy that played Joseph Jackson, but he's a really good actor. He's in he was in Selma. He had his own Netflix series. I forgot what it's called, but he was a really good actor. He did a really good job in as Joe Jackson. And the music, obviously the music was good. Like I said, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, so the music scenes, concert scenes, when they're filming, when they were recording like Beat It or doing the behind the scenes of Beat It and the dancing and stuff like that, that was really good. Even as the kid Michael Jackson, I thought he did a really good job in the movie as well. I think my criticism of the movie was that obviously it did stop in 1988, but it just my opinion is the Jackson's American Dream, and I know the Jackson American Dream is a story about the whole family, the Jackson family. So it's different, but it's kind of, obviously Michael Jackson is the main, is the biggest star, is you would call him the biggest star, the main character. I don't want to call him a character, but he's the biggest star of the Jacksons. Everybody else, other than Janet, was just kind of like, just there. But I say, like, I think the American Dream was better. It was a better movie than a better story than Michael. The story was not that good to me. It was, like I said, I enjoyed it, and if you're a Michael Jackson fan, you're gonna like it. You probably liked it, but it was just not a great. The storyline was just not good to me. It wasn't, it was just kind of fluffed over some things, and it was just kind of and being Michael Jackson is an icon, so 2 hours to tell from 1965 or 68 or whatever it was to 20 years, 1988, like that's a lot that you have to unpack in that. So it did just seem kind of like they just randomly, they just putting different parts of his life. But the music, like I said, the music was good. And I'm not saying that Michael was that you have to like show everything that he did wrong or anything like that. But when a character or when a protagonist in a movie has really no flaws, it really doesn't make for a good movie. Like I think I'm not gonna give it away, but I mean, the story, but it was just like one, and it's not giving anything. It's just like one thing that he probably needed support or needed opportunity for growth is just him being a little more, what's the word? Firm, or not firm, but just kind of being more assertive and staying in his position. If you this is your position, stand with it, and just stick with it and not fold. If that's your position. That was something that he was kind of having issues with his dad. But other than that, like, and I'm not saying make him a villain, but it was just like he was just kind of like perfect. And we know that that's not the case. Like, and like I said, don't make him a villain, but like what outside of like his appearance, what struggles did he have that they could have shared? But that's just my opinion. I'll just say this. So a couple music movies, biopic movies that I liked was Straight Outta Compton and Ray. Those for Michael, if you take out the music of Michael, it wasn't a good movie to me. Ray and Straight Outta Compton, if you took out the music, those were still good movies. Like they were good movies without they were good movies without the music. So that's what kind of separated Michael from those other movies. And then American Dream was a great story, and it had the music. Obviously being like I can't remember what network it was on, but being like made for TV, is not gonna have the budget or the money that to be able to do certain scenes and do different things with the music. They couldn't do it with the American Dream, but the story was so great that you're not really thinking about the production of the music like that. But the music was still good. Like I said, American Dream, it was it was a long movie, and I can't remember how many parts it was, but it was definitely, to me, it was better. I enjoyed that. I can still watch that because it showed the whole family, but it just it was just a better story. Like I said, with Ray and Straight Outta Compton, just the name, those are two music biopics that I really liked that stood out, that they were good without the music. And they were able, and Ray, had his challenges with, drugs and infidelity and things like that. So it kind of, those things, and then especially when you overcome them, those things make for a better story compared to when you just have somebody come, just uh don't they have a character, have a protagonist where it just seems like they just do everything right. And yeah, I understand his family didn't want to, make him, and I'm not even talking about trying to get into the child, those child accusations, but just kind of like as a, even as a musician, if you're that good, I'm pretty sure that usually great musicians or great anybody in their field, they're gonna have something where they probably are challenging to work with just because they are perfectionists. So they didn't go into that, but I would, like I said, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was kind of like a mini concert. Being in there, and the people that were there, they were really vibing and everything like that. So it was enjoyable. Like I said, to me the story just wasn't that great, but it was still a good time at the movies. Before I close, just want to thank everybody for supporting the podcast, viewing, listening. And if you want to support the podcast, I have my Patreon link in the description. It'll be in the show notes for my audio listeners. Which at first I was kind of hesitant about going on YouTube, because it's like, man, I gotta do more work. But it actually, I really like doing it now. So, YouTube is pretty, doing videos pretty good. I'm enjoying it. And again, the Patreon link will be in the description, be in the show notes. Membership is as low as $5 a month, which is $60 a year. There are other tiers that you can look into, and you be able to be a part of the podcast, as far as being on the being recognized on the podcast, on social media. So have exclusive content, being able to get audiobooks, paperback, ebooks with the membership. Again, this is the Dating Relationship Playbook with Chaz podcast, where we discuss having, maintaining, and improving healthy relationships.
Recording stopped.